Back to linear optimization. Now we're going to organize the tableau with an example. So now I've written up a tableau just by filling in with the initial values. What I've done is I put in the matrix A into this part, I put the vector B from this part, and the cost vector transposed here. And also I put a 0 in terms of the cost function, because we're essentially thinking about right now being the all zeros vector. So now what we need to do is we need to select a basis and then diagonalize with respect to that basis. The basis I want to think about is the one we were using when we were talking about our setup example earlier. So I want to use these three variables in my basis, x2, x4, and x6. Now, if I think about what these vectors look like, I see that x4 already has just a 1 here, and x6 already has just a 1 here. So these two things are very close to being standard basis vectors already. So what I need to do is keep that x4 as actually having here. So I want to put x4 as my third basis element, x6 as my second, and then I can put x2 as the first basis variable. Right, so now I have my basis represented here, and the goal is to do row operations such that we are actually diagonalized with respect to this basis. So again, I want to have a 1 here, and zeros all the way up. 1 here, zeros all the way up everywhere else. So this one's already good. And then in this column, I want to have a 1 here, and zeros everywhere else. So let's perform row operations to make that change. We'll make the new tableau on this side. So what we need to do is, for instance, I can take this row and add it and subtract it from the top row in order to remove that element. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take row 0 and I'm going to subtract the third row. So the first thing I'm going to do is take row 0 and the first thing I'm going to do is take row 0 and replace it with row 0 minus row 3. Alright, we've performed that operation. Row 0 is replaced with row 0 minus row 3. And instead of filling in the rest of it, I know that, for instance, I want this first row does not need to be changed because these two zeros are already there. So I can already place row 1 as it is. Now I see that I want this 0 to be there. So let's finish row 0. Now that we've put row 1 down, let's fix row 0 so that I want a 0 here. So I need to take rows, subtract row 1 also from row 0. So we need to make that modification. So what that will do is now this is what our row 0 looks like. And now we need to take row 2 and I need to make this be 0. So I need to add row 1 to row 2. And now the third row didn't need any change. This one's already 0, this one's already 0. And now we see that our tableau has been updated. I have that in the second, fourth, and sixth columns are our first, second, and third standard basis vectors, and therefore this actually represents an updated tableau diagonalized with respect to this basis. We are now ready, once we have a tableau, to start computing pivots.